1. Canoa. Small waves break on the shore with a sound like hand-slapping drumskins. Exhale and the palms wiggle their fingers. A pig tangles his feet in the rotten rope trailing from his neck and screams slaughter. Nothing changes. A 5-block town slips by unnoticed, pretending to be a shadow. Is the sand soft? Its velvet skin. The ocean feels warm and viscous, less like water than milk, fresh from the breast. The breeze is easily mama's breath. And that's why you move so slowly and you don't want to leave. You'd be much better off here and much safer in her thick, warm hands. Why isn't your therapist put a hammock in the office? She could extract profounder bullshit if you'd kick back to one of these instead of the overstuffed couch all filthy with dailiness. Might not need a therapist at all if you spend enough time here. Take the hypnotic rhythm of the ocean. Now imagine it. Imagine that feeling right there on the street. Think how slowly your heart would thud. Your eyes would have the otherworldly cast of an acid freaks, and you would never wear shoes, let alone high heels. You would never have to pay an overdraft fee or kiss your boss's ass or get a tooth drilled or cover a zit with a Band-Aid or lose a few pounds or carry groceries upstairs or fudge task forms. You wouldn't rear-end a fucking tundra while trying to find a song on the radio you haven't heard 850,000 times already. This on a day that's too damn hot for sitting in traffic, but you have to go to a job interview because the one you have makes you despise mankind and it doesn't cover your bills anyway. And you're behind on rent and your roommate is already uptight because you smoke cigarettes in the house while trying to stay awake nights to write articles that come out lousy and leave you feeling inept, overwrought, and nauseous from too much coffee. That would never happen if you lived in Canoa. Lean back and watch your dirty feet swing back and forth. The ocean sloshes in and out of a bat cavern behind your toes. Your eyelids droop and drag you down with them into a sweet, rocking black. When you awake, you will remember none of this. In 5, 4, 3, 2, Tana. I like running. Not jogging, that's for girls with ponytails, but running on high. Day jobs, night jobs, Java 6, hooch, after hours parties, coach carpool lanes, train wreck lovers, impossible deadlines. I work best under pressure, best without sleep. But there are places on this planet where people walk in slow-mo, as if the ground under their feet were made of pillowy marshmallow. The town of Tena in Ecuador's Upper Oriente had a small airport until folks destroyed it one night as a community. They descended upon the shoebox building after dark, bashed the windows, obliterated the control panels, stole the chairs and ashtrays. Progress, development. These are notions for people who value the future above the present, who measure time without breathing it, who need money so bad for, I don't know. Why hurry? Why rush a moment? It will only be followed by another one. My lover Fabricio and I traveled 5 hours on a nut wagon buzz, blasting cumbia and smog into the jungle. We stuffed kayaks into the luggage racks. Tipping around a hairpin curve, we almost hit a stray cow, and we did bisect a fat yellow snake. Snow-capped volcanoes, afternoon downpours, and the green, the brash, livid green. That night we dozed in hammocks, serenaded by insomniac roosters, and the next day we played in the Misawashi River. In the afternoon, local kids kamikaze the rapids on rafts made of rotten fence posts. I felt bizarre in my red plastic boat with my life jacket and crash helmet. Children stopped playing to gawk that aliens had landed. One boy stood on a boulder midstream and waved, and Fabricio paddled over and offered him a ride on the kayak. He leapt, belly first, fingers splayed onto the back prow. Fabi fanned his paddle to keep from tipping. A couple snakes ambushed him from underwater and climbed aboard. Fabricio managed not to tip and ferried several boys, a giggling confusion of elbows and knees and soggy white underwear, across the rapids. But so many boarded for the return trip that the kayak flipped over and sent all of them laughing and choking down the river. I hung out in an eddy behind a boulder, Stability was never my strong suit. Lying on the planks of a suspension bridge and melting into the evening sun, I listened to the river sliding below and let the mosquitoes have their way with me. I felt people cross and tried to guess their quantity by the ripples their steps sent under my back. I had no idea. There were hundreds. There were 5. 3 would follow. The market is a maze. All afternoon I wandered corridors of fresh flowers and brilliant textiles, pyramids of corn and bundles of sugarcane, baskets of eggs and lima beans, leather crafts and moribund livestock. Indígenas stand and hawk their goods or kneel behind them like penitents. They favor gold necklaces and bowler hats, the men in ill-fitting suits and the women in fuchsia felt skirts. Roasted hogs splash caramel grins while vendors excavate the tender, greasy flesh of their backs, scoop it into styrofoam cups, and top it with elote. At the end of the market, a flat, dusty lot stretches towards the Cotocachi volcano. In this lot sits an amusement park. It's not like the ones I know. There are no flashing lights or loud music, no stuffed animals or clog your colon cotton candy, no bumper cars, no crowd, no petting zoo. 6 rides stand in silence. The paint is filthy and peeling, broken light bulbs swing in the evening wind. Clothing flaps on lines strung between the rides and neighboring shanty shacks the size of outhouses. People live here. A man who might be the last carny on earth leans on a fence near the Ferris wheel, picking his teeth. "This thing work?" I ask. "Sí, súbete." The Ferris wheel engine seems to have been rebuilt from a truck. It has a stick shift and a clutch, and it spins a large tire. A heavy chain connects that tire to a smaller one, which in turn is attached to the Ferris wheel itself. It's kind of like a giant bicycle gear. Against good judgment, I climb into one of the rusty cars and give the guy a thumbs up. The carny fires the crazy contraption, and I have never seen a Ferris wheel move this fast. My car reached the top in a couple of seconds. The Onabalan market sprawls below. Then I whip low again, seeing the carny and his Frankenmotor slide past in a blur, and before I catch my breath, I'm on top. Because the height is shocking and the speed seems ludicrous and the machine trembles like a stroke victim, it feels like flying. People dance in the street that night to a cumbia band playing slightly out of tune. Hot candelazo warms the partygoers to random travelers, and everybody wants to dance with me. The old men tell dirty jokes that hinge on puns, but they're the best dancers. I do this grin is funny anyway, and I tip back the thermos of hot blackberry wine and twirl. The next morning, I'm paying for my sins in a blue-tiled hotel bathroom when there is a knock at the door. Several people from the night before have come to drag me into the sun. I thought that because we were drinking, the friends I'd made weren't really friends, but atmosphere. I had forgotten that an Ecuadorian fiesta doesn't die with buzz. Events aren't separated like meatloaf and carrots on a lunch tray. It's in Cebollado. We drive to a waterfall outside of town because nothing kicks a hangover like a cold shower. Everyone jumps in with their clothes on. I lose a splash bite, and that's proof that I'm with good people. Then it's off to the big car race. Rusted Volkswagens and Subarus putt down a cobbled street, and the crowds cheer like it's NASCAR. The racers wear jumpsuits worn by other racers in other eras, and the winner flashes a debonair smile. 4 generations plus friends and strays like me squeeze into a 3-room house for a meal that Tia has cooked all morning. Her roast pork is so tender, even the Asians come back for seconds. I'd like to help with the dishes, but she shoos me. "I want to see you dance," she said. "That's your job here." The evening turns pink. The day collapses into memory and expands into myth. In the backyard, hands clap and cowboy boots stomp. The bulging, drunken smiles look so full, the eyes have become useless slits, and the soul does all the licking. One of my new friends is dancing with his pants falling down around his knees. I would sell my old age to keep this moment, but it's gone in 1 and 2. Yeah.